we're going to dive down very deeply now into one issue that is on the table. That is the medical device tax on revenues, not profits of these companies. It's a 2.3% tax. You've got a cabal of conservatives inside the Beltway, conservatives who actually want to keep the tax. I'm going to keep editorial page editor Paul Gigot with me now to talk about this. Paul, we have an editorial in this morning's paper saying that the Heritage Foundation, which is nominally for smaller government and lower and flatter taxes, wants to keep this tax. Why?
Go figure. Well, I mean, if you ask them, do you want to keep the tax, they would say, all other things being equal, no, I suppose. But the political strategy is that they don't want any changes in Obamacare that improve Obamacare because they think that it reduces the coalition, the size of the coalition, for total repeal. And they're also focused as part of this debate on defunding and delaying Obamacare, and they think that that just repealing a punitive tax like this is small beer, and so who cares?
Kind of corporate cronyism.
Well, I mean, that's a little different argument. I mean, basically, the corporate cronyism argument is nonsense. It's foolish. I mean, since when is removing a punitive tax crony capitalism? I mean, the government punishes an industry, and you say, as a conservative, let's stop punishing you. That's crony capitalism? No, that's nonsense. It's ridiculous. And that's one of the reasons we did the editorial, was to go after this argument, because there's a lot of economic nonsense that is creeping into the right as they get to be so disoriented as part of this debate and focus only on something they can't achieve immediately, which is the repeal of Obamacare. They miss other opportunities, and they even creep in some bad economic concepts.
Well, who is hurt by a tax like this?
You, me, anybody who benefits from the innovation of the American medical devices industry. I mean, this is a 2.3% tax, not on profits, on revenue. So if you are an entrepreneur who creates a device and you sell $100 worth of the product, you pay a 2.3% tax to the president, whether or not you make a dime on that $100 worth of sales. So the Johnson & Johnsons, the Medtronics, the big companies, they have enough cash flow to pay this. It's the smaller entrepreneurial companies who really suffer the most, although even the big companies are having to cut back on their R&D because devices tend to be sold as part of packages to big provider groups, hospitals, doctors. So what happens is that it's very difficult for them to immediately raise their prices and pass that along to consumers. But it's a tax on American innovation. It's a tax on the American life sciences industry, and it's nuts.
Yeah. Well, you know that the conservative movement is going off the rails when even Elizabeth Warren on the left agrees that this is a punitive tax that we need to get rid of.
That's right, although in her case, it happens to be constituent politics, because a lot of these device companies are in Massachusetts and Minnesota.
Okay, well, let's hope that the GOP is listening. Editorial page editor Paul Gigot.
No evidence of that so far.
Thanks so much for being on the show.